your hand popped up, and I also believe Tanya's hand popped up.
I was just going to say this is another example of not duplicate, kind of overlap between historic overlap between the services that the two councils provide. I mean, Martin's kindly done a lot of work on that. So we made a number of proposals to North Somerset about stopping overlap. So this is kind of one of them. But I guess I think but obviously we need to do something to do the repair. So I think it's worth having the conversation, Ben, and see. But obviously, you might want to do it in the context of the bigger picture discussions we're having as well, because there could be some sort of swaps of assets going on just to sort of regularise them, so only one council's looking after them. Because we have a number of nonsensical situations where, for example, I think we look after 15 street lights, and North Somerset look after about 200. So it just doesn't make any sense. So so probably worth. Martin's praised of those conversations, so I think it's worth having the conversation. But in that bigger context,
I agree.
I'd like to work more efficiently as two councils working together on behalf of the community, and not keep arguing about little round boundaries and silly things about who's looking after this and that. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this one is slight defence of both us and North Somerset not wanting to kind of say anyone's done any wrong. Obviously, we have GB Sports inspect our area that we obviously have the lease on, because they've got to inspect that equipment because that's what they have to do. And knowing what GB Sports do and the world that I work in of stuff, if you see something that is literally backing onto your road, you have to raise it. You can't just sit there and ignore it. So that will be, in my understanding, that's the only reason why it would have popped into the GB Sports reports. I don't think it's deliberate crossover of who's responsible for this, that and the other. They are going to raise it. So, and if it wasn't ours, we can then quite easily say, no, it's not ours, we pass it on to North Somerset. So, but I also agree, trying to get the clarity, if there's a bit of a quid pro quo here, we can kind of swap an asset or whatever, and it makes everyone's life easier, then we move on, as they say. So I'll go back to North Somerset on that one, see what they say and bring it back at some point in the near future. But again, ultimately, this is about us, whether we are happy to contribute and pay for this work. Tanya, your hand's up.